There he is.
Where?
Right there.
Oh my God, what happened to him?
All right, it's a regular hot dog cart in here, huh? All right, fellas, here's how it works. $1 to look at it, $2 to touch it, $3 to watch me touch it. That's a nice looking man.
Back the fuck up, Antonio! Find it!
My apologies. $5 to touch it while I touch my toes, $6 to touch it while I touch your toe. Oh, hey, Jen. How are you? Todd. And Fink. Hey, looking good, Finky.
You too, Barry.
Hey, look, fellas, I wish I could give you a deal here, but my pimp's a real ball ache. You know what I mean? So it's $10 for a BJ, $12 for an HJ, $15 for a ZJ.
What's a ZJ?
If you have to ask, big man, you can't afford it.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. We are busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with Autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered Autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than AC Infinity. AC Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of Mass Hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Hello, my darlings.
Happy Tuesday. What up, guys?
Yeah, it's Tuesday already.
It is. It is. We have a special guest tonight, everybody. Please welcome Duke Diamond. Already getting into the nice comfy feel of things here.
Oh, yeah, man.
Hitting a bong. What you got in the pipe, dude?
Some local skunk.
I can't wait to talk to you about that one, man. I got 3 of them going right now.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. They were literally, like, designed for people that, like, rock out a captain's hat in the growth. You know, like, you're, like, in the spirit of it for sure. That's fucking awesome.
I love it. Dude, so I have to ask, I mean, does she taste like skunk?
I don't know what a skunk tastes like.
Oh, okay. That's a fair point.
But I would think probably not. Because if skunks tasted like that, I think more people would hunt them in the wild and extract that flavor for, you know.
Gotcha.
That's like what I would do. Like if I found out a skunk produced that, I'd have a farm. I'd have a skunk farm and like be out there just, you know, harnessing that.
You'd be like squishing skunks to get that sweet, sweet juice.
Oh no, they're pretty cute, man. Like I'd have a hard time squishing them, but like, there's probably a way.
There are.
I've seen people have them as pets.
Oh yeah, yeah. People get the scent gland took out of them. Yeah,
So not taste, maybe that's my bad. Does she smell like skunk?
yeah. This is one of those ones that you get a lot of that smell kind of in the midst of some other smells because that smells pretty complex, man. You got everything
Yeah.
from like garlic notes to burnt rubber to like maybe even like a fresh rubber smell. Like there's a lot of different things that kind of combine in that. So this stuff definitely leans heavy that way. I've never released like a pure skunk line, but as far as the hybrids go, yeah, this is a really serious one. Potency and the flavor that we were talking about, it's got more like a sour fuel type of flavor with like a good bubble hash type notes to it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Lingers, you know.
How'd you come up with the name Local Skunk?
It was just like a real simple go to. So the mother is a local H. You know, that was something else I made back in the day. And then, you know, crossing the Skelly skunk over to it. And it was just like local skunk. It flows nice. Let's call it that.
Mm-hmm.
It does, man. It's catchy. It caught my eye. I mean, as soon as I saw that was out there, dude. I mean, would you release that like 2 months ago, maybe?
Yeah, it was July 4th.
Word. Yeah, man. I jumped on that right away. I mean, it's not every day you see, a breeder of such, good reputation wanting to put their name on something that has the word skunk in it.
Yeah.
As simple as that,
And back when I first started doing it, nobody was doing any skunk line breeding and shit. And then did those first releases at the Emerald Cup that year. I think that was at the end of 17. And that was a real big hit. And then, anything gets popular or a name gets popular, everybody starts, doing their thing. So it's just part of it. It's I guess the business side of it,
Dude, right? It's a copycat business,
Yeah, I used to say that in the weed industry, right? We're working with something and indulging in something that inspires like artistic abilities and creativity, and we're in the most unoriginal fucking industry that there is. Like quite literally, it's just one person copying the next person, copying the next person, like on everything. And I'm just like, wow, this is kind of ironic how this turned out,
I mean, you have a great point, dude. It's of all the amazing strains out there in the cannabis landscape, and then like, what do you see after, breeder after breeder putting out like permanent marker crosses and apples and bananas and Skittles and all the same stuff, because they cater to the market, which I get it.
After that dollar, yeah.
But it does create a bottleneck. And that's, kind of one thing we like to feature guys on this show who like aren't really doing that thing. Like, they're kind of marching to their own drum, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of respect for that around here. So
Hell yeah.
that's why we got you here, man.
Hell yeah. The other thing about that local is like when the F1 dropped, like that was a really, really highly sought after one for years later. Because when it was gone, then I was locked up. So there wasn't going to be any more available. And, that the intention for that one was to go further to like an F3, F4 anyways, and what y'all just saw, like that's the F3. So very, very, very tight,
It's locked
not a lot
in
of
now,
variation. Yeah, pretty good.
Man, I absolutely can't wait to see what these skunks have in store for me. I'm an organic guy, much like yourself. I do think organic growing plays into a little bit of like the terpene expression that comes out in your plants. I think I heard you on another show talking about sulfur, which is a cool thing too. We can get into, but I use a lot of that stuff. You know, we say the stank bringeth the dank.
Yeah.
So like the stinkier the inputs, usually the stinkier the product at the end of the day. I don't know, just how it works. But before we get into the meats and bones of the episode here, I do want to ask my colleagues what they are smoking on tonight. So, Monster, you want to go?
Monster, what do you got, bud?
I got some Pure Michigan live resin.
Ooh. In the Dr. Dabber, or are you going straight up?
No, the Dr. Dabber. It's just too convenient. Nice. I hardly ever use the normal dab rig these days.
Cool, dude. What's the Pure Michigan? That's got a lot of those meat terps, right?
It's real funky and gross and sour. Definitely enjoying it.
It's the kind of I like.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
I've had a couple people not like it, but that's fine. It's more for me.
Fuck yeah. Well, what about you, G3?
This is the double smile from the Grow Along. You know me. If it's a show night, we gotta go with the mango. Always. It
keeps you like regulated. A little bit.
Me happy and
a little bit sativa, a little bit indica, meat right in the middle.
Otherwise, I stop paying attention.
I hear that. I got a little Violet Beauregard tonight. The number 2 pheno, the keeper that was not kept.
The keeper that wasn't.
The keeper that I failed to keep. That it's delicious. Again, it's gassy, predominantly gassy with like an undertone of ripe blueberry. It's all right there. I mean, it's the kind of weed you probably remember from like 2005. I don't know, maybe a little earlier than that. I don't know, Duke, what would you say in the looking back on like weed past, did skunk come before blueberry?
Yeah.
I thought so too. Now, how about sour D? Where does that fall into was that before or after blueberry?
Right. So there's like people that have had like blueberry weed that wasn't like from, like I guess like a DJ batch, and then also like I think it was around like 99, maybe 2000. There was a breeder named Dick High. He was doing some blueberry work too. He was like a Canadian cat. And then you had DJ Short, of course, doing all his blueberry work. Yeah. You have some cuts circulating around that are like blueberry, and like, that was the shit.
Yeah, that was right when like we started to get the really good weed around my part. I mean, the East Coast. Before that, we just got beasters and stuff. Like.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Before you had the guys that were really seeking out really good weed for really good clientele, especially around New York City. Like they start seeing the loot. Like one of the bigger ones at the time was the Cartoon Network guys, and they're like network of people that were like getting weight from wherever. So you had such like a plethora of it, around New York City, and then like it expanded out too, like all through the Northeast.
Dude, that's so funny. It's like
little batches.
Those Cartoon Network like Adult Swim back in like the early 2000s too. Some of the funniest fucking cartoons you've ever seen. Now I know why they were so funny, because they were just getting high as fuck off some blueberry in the writing room.
I mean, of course they were.
That's what I'd have been doing too, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Cartoon Network, those cats, they did their thing. They had like a call service, and this was back in the early 2000s. So you were just calling up numbers. You had dudes with burner phones, doing deliveries and shit. And of course, you're operating like that, the feds are going to find out, and like they're going to hunt you down, and that's what happened. I think they got indicted. So that all went
That
to a halt.
sucks.
But
That sucks.
yeah, you had a
That's
lot of weed from different places, you know.
makes me think of Mr. Nice Guy from Half Baked, you know? Just weed
Hell
delivery.
yeah. Hell yeah. He had that fucking wall of crossbows and medieval instruments, man. Man, that
Some
dude
funny
was hard,
shit.
man. Yeah, he called it E16. Like, yeah, fetch me E16. He's like, right away, sir. Crossbow. Like, God
Now
damn.
I know what clip I'm putting in the beginning of the episode now. When I edit them, I always do something like that.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so man, you mentioned, you know, I know you got in a little trouble.
Damn, Kev.
You mentioned it, and we were just talking about getting,
It's
feds and
it's
stuff. I'm
like,
sorry.
no,
It was
that was totally like I'm 15 and my best friend's dad like comes up and talks to me. Like that's what it sounded like.
you mentioned you got in a
Son,
little trouble.
I heard you got into a little bit of trouble.
You know, man, I only ask. Listen, you are totally welcome to tell me to go fuck myself. You don't have to answer any questions.
No,
One of our sayings is don't get caught. You know?
Yeah. It's
Is
not
there-
illegal until you get caught.
Is there any advice that you might be able, I mean, dude, anything that you might be able to give to the people out there in Prohibition land?
Yeah, for sure. I guess like the number one thing is like it's an old saying. There's the way things should be, and then there's just the way shit is, right? So, you know, somebody might go on their Instagram being like, yeah, you know, just don't say a word, you know, and like, yeah, that's sound advice. And they're like, it reminds me of the Better Call Saul shit. Like, yeah, you got these rights, man. They can't just search your shit with no warrant. Okay.
The fuck they can, right?
Like it should be that way, but they'll do it anyway, and they'll always find something. And just remember, like any type of interaction that you have to have with a cop in a traffic stop or walking by one or whatever, and the people that associate with cops, you know, somebody who would like call the cops on you or is just like kind of a narc ass person. You just can't be smelling like weed like that. Don't wear tie-dyes around and about, you know. Don't go to the hydro store in town. Like there's so many things, you know, like pay cash for things. Don't create any type of paper trail. Do not talk over the fucking goddamn phone. Do not do that. Like just meet in person. It's not that big of a deal. Like you know, like fuck.
I hear that.
Yeah, just you know, like just the basics of it, and then after that, as long as you're, you know, if you're doing your grow, man, just you know, don't blow it out so insane that you're popping transformers or like a really insane electric bill, and make sure that you're not stinking the place up. That's mainly it, and like mow your grass too. Like keep your yard looking real nice. Like for real, like it sounds so fucking simple, but just keep a Hank Hill fucking yard and look like Hank Hill when you go out to do such. And if you got neighbors, howdy neighbor, you know, like you can't afford to have any weird little shit pop up, you know. So
dude, that's actually genius. I have the Hank Hill trap house.
Yeah.
I mean, truly.
And if anybody comes over expectedly, always have a fucking pan ready to go, throw it on the oven, and throw bacon in the pan and let that shit burn. You will not smell a goddamn thing other than burnt ass bacon all through the house and everything. So if that does happen, you know, you can always do that if you're slacking on your smells. So
burnt pig to deter the pigs.
That's true, spoken like a true Southern boy.
Yeah, man.
Just burn that bacon. That's all you can smell.
Man. Yeah,
that's true, man. I appreciate that. You know, I'm kind of growing in the shadows myself. You know,
Yeah,
but
don't have a steely on the back of your back glass on your car or your truck or whatever. Don't give them any reason to even suspect that you might even smoke weed.
dude,
That way,
that's
because the level that they will, like the amount of money that they will spend just to get at somebody like yourself, just for the most minute of shit, like they will spend a lot of time and money, like trying to get you, and they will lie in court. They will try to make you out like Pablo Escobar, and then at the end of the day, like you got to go sit down and do a little time, do some push-ups, eat some honey buns, get some tattoos,
yeah. Just do a little reading, get in shape, be out in no time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, man, you know, I I hate to minimize it, but if you
It
do
is
have to
what
do
it is.
time, you got to I don't know,
It's
man.
just
I don't know,
part.
man.
It's part of the contract, right? So, like, before you go into doing anything, you're like, okay, this is illegal, obviously. Um, here's the consequences of that, and here's the consequences if I do it this size, this size, this size, and you got to like be real with yourself and like for your passion, are you willing to go, for 6 months and sit it out, maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe more? Like, how does that play out, and
For
just be
sure.
real about it, and that way if it happens, it's just part of the contract, just keep
Well,
your mouth shut,
it
go
ain't
do your
gonna
time,
happen.
and yeah,
It
yeah,
ain't
it's
gonna happen. All right. Well,
yeah,
I
good.
I brought it up, guys. I wanted to get a little advice from a man who's been through it, but let's get on some like more better, happier topics because that ain't gonna happen, right? If you dot your I's and cross your T's, and you're like we
Lowercase
say,
j's, man, we're in
dot your lowercase J's
2023.
too, for sure, and cross your X's as well.
Yeah.
It's attention to detail, like, and it's
Yeah.
as long as like you're not out in real life giving them a reason to
Just
like
don't
look
draw
at you
attention to
online,
yourself.
then I
Yeah.
think
Just
Fade
blend
I
into
in.
the background.
Yeah.
fade into the
the
back.
background.
That's good advice,
Yeah,
G3.
man. Like
Be an upstanding citizen.
yeah, and like I
Because
had like a whole
as
different
growers,
getup.
we are upstanding citizens in general.
Yeah, I used to wear a fucking button-up shirt or whatever. If I had to go out and
Yeah,
about after a good shower, yeah, I look like totally different person.
bet you clean
So
up pretty good, man.
not too bad. I shaved off all this. Um, not bad. I wouldn't kick
Cool.
me out of bed, but whatever.
Well, so one of the things I saw lately that you've been working on is this soil that you just released with Build a Soil.
Oh my gosh, it's so
Which
fluffy.
I love Build a Soil, man. I mean, I get a lot of my stuff from them as an organic guy. I was hoping you might be able to talk a little bit about what is in it, what's different about it than like their regular Build a Soil 3.0. Yeah, what could you tell us, man?
I would get into the differences between 3.0 and that, but I am really not educated on what's in 3.0. But I do
It's
know
all right.
what's in mine.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so it's basically cliff notes of it is it's a stronger soil. It's not something you would put a seedling right into, or even a clone that's like freshly rooted. Like it would be a little overwhelming. But when you're coming out of your 4-inch square or maybe a solo cup, whatever you're using, then you can go in that and talking very very rapid growth and good all the way through bloom. It has enough food in it to sustain that plant, through the whole cycle. Um, and like for instance, this very exact batch that he made that he had the test run on that I ended up like it's on like run number 3 right now. But we're talking the last run. Like if you saw any of the pictures of the G Ride and those big fat chunky fucking things, that was the second run in that soil, 10-gallon pot. Plants, up there, those G rinds were like right around 4 feet. So good sized plants, still in the same 10-gallon pot, no reamendment, no top dressing, no nothing. Just pull out the old little root ball, and put in a new plant and rock and roll it, water only. And
Wow.
still, so like it's able to sustain, and you have different things, different inputs into that mix that kind of are achieving the same thing, but they break down at different rates and stuff too. So you got stuff for the immediate, the median, steady release, and then stuff that's more, you could say, for the long haul. Aeration in it's 30%, which is just like, it's where me personally, that's like right where I
sweet
like
spot.
to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that pumice?
It's not perlite.
Or...
Yeah, it's pumice. It's pumice.
Okay, great.
So you're not going to have that perlite break down on you over time, forcing you
like
to
float
pull
to
it
the
out.
top.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying this is like a super soil from
yeah, exactly.
And this would probably be a lot more nutrient dense than even some of the other quote unquote water only stuff on the market. So this can last like cycle to cycle.
Yeah, so this mix, there's like a few tweaks that we did because like Build a Soil doesn't deal with bat guano, and my original mix had two different types of bat guano in it. So so there's like a minor tweak right there. So that's why I wanted to get like all the testing done with it first, just to make sure that, I mean, I know it's a pretty small change, but change nonetheless. So definitely had to run it. So in years prior, like before I got in that little bit of trouble, I was on year 5, running round the clock in the same pots. The pots never even moved from where they were sitting. Same soil, same pots. I did a little dusting on top of it, like once a year. Basically like some rock dust and some other shit. But
how
big
just
rock and rolled it.
Were those pots? How big were the pots?
It was an assortment of 10s and 15s. So if I had like any plants that I was, getting up, 6 foot and over, those were in the 15s. And then everything else that was like up to my eyes, right up to 6 foot, that, could be a 10-gallon.
Damn. So you're not even taking the soil out at all. Like you're using 10s and 15s as a like living soil bed, for lack of a better comparison. You're just planting right into where you chop from.
Yeah.
Still have the stump sticking out a little bit.
Yeah. Like you got that little something. By the time you broke down that room and all the microbial life in there, you can just reach in and just pull like a baseball out, dust you a little bit of microbes around the hole, after you've made it to size, and then drop in new, cover it up, water it in, and off to the races. You're back to going.
See, I love that.
Whoa.
I love that.
Because I am such a lazy person. Like I have to do so much and I do it, but I don't want to. So anytime, I can find efficiency in something to where it makes something smoother, be cheaper, work better, I've always gone that route. Wow. To me, this was, it was easy,
I've always said I'm the laziest grower I know. If I can do something an easier way, I will find it. Honestly, like mixing soil, I do the reamending too. One of the cool things I think about being an organic grower is, you can reuse your salt media too if you really want. You just have to wash it out. You have to do some labor in between a cycle. Like for me, I was just dumping the pots out. I was breaking them down. I usually grow in a 5-gallon pot. I do the auto pots now, so it's a little bit bigger. We have like the 9 gallons now, which amazing for like a water only setup, dude. It does all, watering from the bottom, keeps it perfect. You ever hear of the auto pots, dude?
Yeah, I have. And I got a buddy that uses them, and I got another buddy that does like this. I think it's called like a blue mat system. But like he's got like a big ass 4x8 bed, and all this cool shit.
Yeah, man. So the blue mat's water from the top, which you kind of have to
Yeah,
dial
the
in a little
auto
bit.
pod, it kind of does like the ebb and flow so it wicks up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a game changer in my opinion.
Yeah, we all love them around here.
I grew
And
weed like that once. I did. I drilled out these 5 gallon buckets that we spray painted in camouflage, and I did like about the bottom 4 or 5 inches of just straight vermiculate, and I had woven rope all through the holes, stranded them out past the wood pallet, and I just put all of them on a wood pallet on some floats, and I had it floating in the river to where it was constantly like wicking up and keeping that soil good and damp, and it just kind of floated in this little cove in the weeds. I'm like, that shit works. Like it'll stay hydrated, man.
oh, for sure. Automatic watering was like, once I got that going, I never looked back, truly.
Yeah, exactly. It's all like a baseline. Like if you have like an instrument showing you a precise set point where like this is where you want to be, like in something that analyzes moisture, you can have that literally so consistent, like better than the senses can tell us. Like, hey, this is like feels right, versus an actual tangible number. You're like, hey, this right here, this is it. And you can repeat that process and put more consistency in.
The thing I love about the autopots is that the plants just decide how much they drink. Like they're the boss. They take as much as they want, and it doesn't refill the tray until they drank what you gave them. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So it does kind of. Some people would argue that you need to incorporate more of a dry period for your plants.
Yeah, like where you push them every 14 days, give them a push. Yeah.
I don't really do that, but if you did want to do that, all you'd have to do is literally turn a knob on the reservoir and turn off the system for a day. So easy to do. So man, this soil sounds amazing. Like, really doesn't sound like there's much else like it on the market right now. It looks like there's a pre-order going on right now.
Yeah, he's got the batch made, but he's letting it cook because like a soil like that, like you gotta let that shit break down, mix it up. That way when you get it, because like if you were to plant straight into that after mixing, your pH would be drifting all over and certain things aren't available, and it's a mess. So the important part of that is that cook time. So giving it that good cook time, it'll be ready to go when they open the bag, like as it should be.
Nice. Well, it's I do hope that they can somehow get some out here locally.
Save on that shipping. That's what kills everybody nowadays. It's through the roof.
It does. You guys are lucky out there in Colorado. Can all kind of just like cruise over each other's places and stuff.
I'm literally going to do it in a few days. Like it's like 3.5 hours away, but I'm going to because I gotta get some soil. So, but yeah, like if I would say like yourselves or if anybody you know is interested, just make sure like they talk to their local hydro stores. Like I know like the internet's really taken over a lot. So a lot of people, you might not have like a good interaction with your local soil dealer or whatever. Get to know those people, small mom and pop businesses and shit. And it's cool to support your community. But when it comes to things that have that, they might already get build a soil. They can throw some on the pallet and save them all the shipping, So I would advise like, definitely tell people like stores like what you might want or need. They might be able to, get you hooked up. So
it's true. Very true. Good point. And shout out to Jeremy from Build a Soil. Love watching his videos. Did you say that he's growing one of your new strains, the G rind right now?
Oh, is he? Sweet.
Did you say that, or I thought I heard someone say like,
somebody
you gotta look at the fat colas. So and so is growing of that G rind.
Oh, he grew my beefcake tea, but he might be getting ready to grow some G rind though.
All right, I'll have to go watch one of his older videos. That beefcake D.
Yeah, he had the big 1 pound plants up in there.
That's crazy, man. So that was the strain you just released, though, right? The G rind. You want to
Yeah,
tell
that
us
was
anything
just
about?
recently.
What can you tell
Yeah,
us about that?
well, you remember the old Lemon G, because all the Ohio boys growing all that stuff.
Yeah.
People say Ohio is not real, but shout out to Ohio. I believe I've been there. You know what I'm saying?
I know people who say they've been there that I trust, but
Yeah, I was there, man. I saw a medieval battle go down and shut in front of a castle too.
oh, what at medieval times?
Yeah, there was a castle. Like I had gotten this, like a pay by the month type apartment deal because I was there doing a cryogenic gas plant, and across the way from me was like a proper castle and shit. And one Saturday, like I got up or whatever and went outside and I look across the street and there's like two warring factions like running at each other like with the full get up, man, the fucking shields and goddamn broadswords, dude. Fucking shooting projectiles, arrows.
That's
And like
wild.
yelling, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then they went at each other, and like you could tell, like the swords were made of Nerf, and like they were pretending, but still that
Isn't that
happened. And I was like, "What the
LARPers.
LARPing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck?"
LARPing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
live action role players.
That's a hobby right there. I don't know.
Oh, they were getting hella into it, man. I watched for a little while.
I think it
You-
could be very therapeutic to beat the shit out of somebody with a broadsword.
It is,
Huh?
I'm sure. I used to enjoy paintball a lot too. Paintball is a really good way to, get that out of you,
Paintball's
Sure.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. I played competitively, man, for a long time, and I had a ball doing that, and travel and meet cool people and smoke weed with them and sell them weed and well,
That sounds
man,
fun.
good times, man, good
That sounds
times.
fun.
And you get to shoot people and they don't die, and it's all really fun.
Yeah,
It's great.
like a simulated battle, without much injury. I mean, dude, they do hurt. They'll leave a welt.
Yeah, the old school shit, man. Like, there was a manufacturer. They were like one of the first, like, really big ones. You had Pro Ball, which is what we shot a lot of, and then there was another company called RP Shear, and they made the Marbleizer and all that. But that fucking Pro Ball, dude, like that shit was so fucking hard. Like, it'd make you bleed and shit.
Ooh.
Like, it was gnarly as a bitch, man. Like, you'd be shooting the piss out of somebody, not a ball broke on them, and they're just like tapping out, like, fucking stop, dude. Like, you're killing me here.
God damn.
Yeah, but shit, man. Like, your adrenaline was going so much, it wasn't too bad till later. You're like, wow, I'm really bleeding here.
Oh, it gets your adrenaline going for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I wanted to say real quick too, LARPing, it's, not just playing like a medieval live battle. Like a lot of people LARP as a lot of other things too, like cannabis breeders and like cannabis growers.
Yeah, just a dude.
There's real ones out there. There's real ones out there for sure, but like, let's be honest, man. Like, a lot of people are just LARPing these days, it seems, and not doing the actual work, And
Yeah, there's a lot of that, man. There is definitely a lot of that, and it's sad, but just how shit is nowadays.
they want all the glory without doing the dirty work,
Man, I tell them what, they can have the glory, man. Fucking go do some work or just go back to doing what you did before. Like, stop.
I love it. I love it, man. So, I want to talk a little bit about your growing style.
All right. My kung fu.
Mhm.
Yeah, your kung fu, dude. I want to know your secret moves. Like, I want to know the one.
Finish them off with the yoga move. You're good.
Yeah,
man.
what's your fatality move? Like when you have to like do one thing to finish him or her in this case.
Yeah.
Like let's use that as an example, right? I want to do this one thing, like to turn this plant into like a finished product, whether it's ripening trichomes, whether it's producing more terpenes, whether it's more THC, higher test numbers. Like, what's one thing you can do at the very end to like give it a little boost?
All right. I got just the thing for you, man. Wrote a song about it. Want to hear it?
I
Here you
do.
go. So being in living soil and everything, one thing that you can do, in your final 14 days, there's a couple things that lead up to this. You know what? I'm gonna back it the fuck up. I'm gonna start there. So when I'm typically gonna grow things between 9 and 10 weeks in flower, um, around mid part of like through like week 6, like we're getting ready to begin week 7, I dial my lights back like a little bit. Not a whole lot. Like normally, like I start like we'll just say like your typical LED. I might start blooming at 75%, work up to 100, and then drop it back at that point that I'm talking about, like getting into week 7. Drop it back to like 80%, or 85%, and then during like the last week, I'll drop them down to like 60%, 65%. And another thing I'm doing is I'm taking an hour off of my cycle. So instead of 12-12, I'll run them 11-13 from about
Interesting.
week 7 on. It gives them, it kind of triggers them, gives them a little bit of sense of urgency, like kind of like what would happen in nature. The other thing, like if you're a living soil person, get some organic cane sugar and mix it up at like 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. Just get it to break down in the water, and then water your pots with that. What's going to happen, all those microbes are going to kind of come off their job of breaking things down and delivering, helping to deliver to the plants. They're going to go right to that sugar. Yeah, exactly. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a really nice clean fade in your plant, and that's also going to help it to kind of wrap up and finish what it's doing. The other benefit is the sugar. I guess they say it makes microbes like get real horny and they start banging and reproducing. So that's good because by the time you go to put your new pot in, there's more of them ready to do more work, and your plant's going in there with things going like ham, like ready to take off again.
I mean, that makes sense. Every time I eat a bag of twin snakes, me and the wife do tend to get a little frisky that night.
I mean,
I don't know. It's me and the microbes got a little in common, I guess. No, dude, hearing you say some of those things, man, really super interesting. I do a couple of those things. Now, the reason I could imagine that you do, let's say, dial the lights back, is so you're not volatilizing terpenes towards the end of the grow with like heat, with light. You're letting everything kind of, I don't know. It makes a lot of sense, is what I'm saying, from whatever perspective. But I'm gonna try a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I think you'll dig it. Anybody I've ever turned on to it was definitely pleased with the results. And have you ever seen like a picture of the bud where the calyxes are just so swole and all the gland heads are like extra fat, and it's just like those gland heads are like standing at attention, and you're like, God damn! Like when I was growing that, like I didn't get it to get bulbous and finish like that. A lot of that look will come in with the reduction of light and in time and intensity, and yeah, it really lets them finish out like how they do.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
The sugar trick. I mean, that's a lot of people use molasses, right?
I don't like using the molasses for it, because within the molasses there's iron, calcium, magnesium, some more potassium, and I don't want them to have any potassium and like want to keep going, so
yeah, you're trying to cut out the food at that point.
I want them to use all their all that food that they've actually like stored up in the plant. I need them to go ahead and just start tapping into those reserves and get that took care of. if my buddy Titan was here, he would tell me the scientific fucking name of it.
Senescence.
No, not the senescence, but it's basically like some plants, they call them animal high, and I can't remember. Is it like luxury consumption? Yes, that's for
Luxury
you,
consumption.
Chris.
All right.
Luxury consumption. So they'll
Those
take up
bougie
way
ass
more
girls.
than they need,
Yeah.
and then they store it away. So especially with those, you gotta make sure they take up what they're gonna take up.
Luxury consumption, like lifestyles of the rich and famous plants around these parts, huh?
Yeah, man.
Got mega mansions, pools, Maseratis.
Yeah, man. Fucking making it happen with the manganese.
Well, so that does make a ton of sense, though, like about cutting off the nutrients at the very end. Like what I think we were talking about it even on the last show. If you're not getting a fade at the very end, your plant has too many nutrients in it still.
Luxury consumption, man.
Luxury consumption. But you want them to. So is the luxury consumption the consumption of the plant stuff that it's already like broken down, that it's stored up? That's what we're calling it?
Yeah, it's taking more than what it needs and putting it away for a rainy day. Like, say some asshole just fed it, 2 tablespoons a gallon of cane sugar and cut off its work and sweetened it, It wants to keep that, for just because of shit like that, So that's why some plants fade out a little bit more than others too, Some of them they're just taking more up and hanging on to it.
For sure. Now, for me, I love to see a fade. Not only is it like beautiful, not only do you get to see a whole amazing display of whether it's purple. I've seen plants fade to black. Yeah. A lot of times you get the yellow, the red, the orange.
What do you think about that album?
It's beautiful.
Fade to Black.
Oh, fucking great album, man.
Yeah.
Great. I mean,
man.
But
yeah, that's how you get the good shit, man. Like, it tastes super good, smells super good. When they got that nice fade, there's not that leftover chlorophyll fucking smell off,
It's the chlorophyll. Like, and a lot of people want to talk like, oh, it tastes like hay, tastes like grass. Like, where do you think that comes from, guys? That's chlorophyll.
And chlorophyll.
That's chlorophyll in your plants. You're not tasting nutrients necessarily. Yeah. You're tasting. I guess it does correlate to too many nutrients because the plant has it's got luxury consumption.
You want to know the biggest one?
Needs the biggest
one of them all is alfalfa. That's probably the contributor to the most amount of like organic soil folks, like, and their weeds smelling like grass clippings. You know what I mean? It's not just like an improper dry and putting it away and too much closure. Alfalfa, it's rich with it's a PGR called tricantanol. That's why people use it. It's not for the NPK value. It's the tricantanol. They're stimulating that plant. And anyways, people that use that, all through the flower cycle, they always got that grassy ass weed. And that's why it's that tricantanol buildup and chlorophyll. So, I got my rule of thumb is like definitely not past day 28 bloom,
Word.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing to use, man. Alfalfa.
It is.
It's a good food for the microbes as well.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time.
But we want to cut that out, like maybe early, middle of the flower cycle.
Yeah, I'd say about day 28 where I don't like to use it anymore. My other line of thought is like what's there is good to carry it on through anyway. So I just don't want to risk that tricantanol build up. And the same can be said for like kelp with me. I don't like the any inputs with either one of those past day 28. I'm not real keen on.
That makes sense too. I mean, Monsters mentioned that himself. I think kelp's a great thing to use too. It's fastest growing plant in the world. Obviously, it lends something to your grow that you can't find elsewhere. But you don't want that kind of you don't want those kinds of inputs, like your plant getting the messages to like just grow out of control like it's a jungle after day 28 of flower. That's when your buds are setting. That's when you want all the energy to grow towards flower production, not
Yeah, I look
making
at
a
it
bigger
like kind
plant.
of like in different, like almost like 4 quarters of growth. The first part is like during the stretch and making sure they don't burn out, keeping them sustained, shaping them if you're not, just growing them through a trellis, and making sure that I get a good bud set early on, and concentrate really hard on my differential between lights on and lights off temps. Try to keep things as productive as possible as they stretch up. Once I'm doing that, then I'm more focused. Like I'm looking at biomass production. Like what am I going to be growing here, which is going to follow into trichome production, and anything I can do to facilitate terpene production, flavonoids, whatever. And then the very end is the end that we just discussed, making sure that I'm getting a good fade out, and that my finished product's going to be nice, clean, burning, stinky ass fucking weed that tastes good.
That's the dream, man. That's what
Yeah.
we all want.
Yeah. So yeah, it all switches up for me, like through the whole cycle.
That's some really solid advice.
Yeah, man.
For sure. For sure. Oh shit. So excuse me.
Oh yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'll be all right. Now,
Mahalo.
yeah, right. Continuing on with your grow cycle, man. Your grow style. Have you gone over to LEDs? You're still doing old school, yeah?
Yeah, I just started using LEDs when I got out of the joint. I got the S-Tech Established Technologies brand LEDs.
Nice.
Used two different types. There was like the traditional 8-bar rack, type system, and then I used their high bays, which were like replacement for DE lights. And I grew some fucking monster plants under it. Fucking killed it on the yields, which was always my concern, because the old tech was like, you might get off 24 inches of canopy. You know what I mean? Then after that, you're kind of not doing so hot. But with these, like those high bays, at least they had 5 feet of penetration, and yeah, it was impressive. Same quality, smell, taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was nice.
A little easier to control the environment, I imagine, with LEDs.
How did you find the transition? Like, did you run warmer temps? Did you do anything different than you would with HPS?
The temperature. Everything else stayed the same, other than temperatures could run a little warmer. So I ended up not having to run the AC in there, which that was cool. And then, I bumped it up. I was at like 82 to 85 degrees is where I was like happy, in my canopy. Then the dehumidification had to be bumped up though. So there was a little bit
because they transpire more.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
So,
under LEDs?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why that is.
More
like
photons during the day and stuff, and they're
growing more.
Because like they do most of their growing at night. They're just eating and processing food during the day, and then at night's when they're really starting to rock out. So that kind of flows back, like you were saying, my grow style. I have like a really heavy emphasis on my environment, because like the environment's going to dictate everything else. You can have the best of everything and all of it there, but if your environment's out of whack, they're not going to be able to perform optimal with the optimal tools you're giving them. So temperature, humidity, no crazy swings, trying to keep a nice tight perfection, good airflow, air exchange, really putting that extra attention into your environment's gonna probably get you more than the best seeds and the best light in the world, um, yeah, so,
I have to
and
agree.
paying attention to nighttime. A lot of people only focus on what happens when the lights are on. When the lights are off, you really got to put that extra love there. Make sure that you're still within your VPD. You know what I mean? Do that at night, and it's harder to do, because things are going to be a little bit cooler, and that's fine. But let's try to keep the temperature for our nighttime as close as we can to our daytime. The tighter that differential is, the better they'll be. So whatever your temp that you're able to achieve during your lights off cycle, have your dehumidifiers throttled to that so that you can still maintain proper BPD with the lights off, and you'll see a lot of good results come of that. And making sure that your root zones aren't getting cold at night. If you're on the floor, the season changes. Now they got cold feet. That'll fuck you. And don't water like right before the lights you're getting ready to go off either. Yeah, because that's kind of chilling them, So
Actually, now that it's getting cold too, I always check my water temperature.
Big time.
You want it to be. I always go by the rule of if you're a hydro grower, what do they say? Like 68, 69 is the perfect temp because it has the most oxygen in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
I try
dissolved oxygen. Yeah, and that's the best you can do. What I like to do is wherever my root zone temps are typically, in the shade out of the light is typically the same like outside of the light where I might keep my water. Maybe I got a trash can or something. So ambient temp of water should match the root zone pretty closely. So we won't be doing any like temperature shock. And generally that's a pretty acceptable range for, if you're dissolving, air into your water. Yeah, man.
Nice. Now you mentioned you don't have much of a swing between your day and your night temps. You like to keep that gap as tight as you can.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So let's say like if I'm running 82 on my canopy lights on, if I can manage to keep it 75 to 77 with the lights off, I'm pretty happy with that.
Cool.
You see a lot of rapid swings with people, and some people leave the air conditioning on full blast and chill their rooms every night, and little attention to detail, to make sure that your lights off temps. You can keep it respectful because of course it's going to cool down. The lights are off, but do the
For
best
the average,
you can.
smaller home grower, that's where a dehumidifier is going to come in handy because it's going to be needed anyway because the humidity
It's going to put off heat.
They put off heat. Really, anything more than 10 degrees, you're affecting the plant growth at that point.
Yeah.
And you're opening yourself up to problems like PM and bud rot and other shit.
Exactly. Yeah, keep them tight.
Do you like when you're growing for flower, you like to grow a lot of plants or big plants?
Depends on my space. Let's just say like Monster's like, hey bro, I got me this fucking huge warehouse. Let's blow this bitch down, Or I'm over at your place and you're like, hey, I got this 10 by 10 tent or 4 by 4 tent. That's definitely gonna play into that. And then there's like the plant count thing, like, are y'all wanting to abide by that or
not?
not?
Are we staying legal here, or are we just flying by the seat of our pants? I don't know.
Yeah. And then cultivar come into it, certain things that we could root, toss it on a table, give it like 7-10 days of veg, like fem it, top it, whatever. and just force flower, you know, basically all of them, you know, ass to ass the whole fucking way, and just bam, you know, and just go crazy.
I hear you. Now, I like to do a little bit. I mean, I think my style is becoming more bigger plants.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's easier to manage fewer plants, even if they are big. And I don't know, it's just like easier to work with fewer plants. It truly is. How can you give more love to more plants?
Yeah.
As one guy up in a garden, you know, it's just like I only have so much attention to go around for all my girls, you know.
Yeah. And it's like, what amount of space are you looking to fill? You know, because like you could give me a 4x4, like I could fill it with one plant, you know, with the proper like stress technique and everything. You know, I could
Can
make it happen. You know,
big enough soil
four,
bed for sure.
yeah, 4 plants though. You know, 7-gallon pot, something like
Yeah.
that. And it's gonna be more. You know, it's gonna be full.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now. Like I have a 5x5 tent. And
You got a hydro grow too?
so it's the auto pots with
Oh, nice.
the organic soil, and
yeah.
I have 3 of your skunks, the local skunks. I have 3 from Katsu. It's like a
Nice.
sour D and headband cross.
Oh, cool.
Sounded nice. I got 2 others. One's a West Coast sour from 2020. That's a fem, and then another fem that's called Diesel Frost. Slurricane crossed with sour D.
Nice, man.
So my
So
plan
yeah,
is
you're going all sour, kind of funky shit this run.
sour
That's cool,
funk.
man.
Yep, old school. Like, yeah, I'm into the nostalgia smokes lately.
Hell yeah.
And that'll take me back for sure. But now my plan is to I'm gonna hopefully find a female of your skunk and of that Katsu. That's a reg too. That's why I have 3 of them. I gotta find the best female and then up pot to a 9-gallon, big auto pot, 9 gallons of soil. I'll have 4 of them, and they will fill up a 5x5, no problem. 4
Hell
plants
yeah,
and 9 gallons of soil each. They get
Definitely.
large. So, yeah, I mean, I'm dude. If I get 3 males, do you know how pissed off I'm gonna be?
I could say at least with the local skunk, it's not something like you can put on a website or on a pack. It's
No,
the
of
one
course.
person it doesn't apply to. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But we like there's a very high percentage of female to male ratio
Nice.
in that line. So yeah,
Cool.
it should be cool.
Can't wait, dude. Like I said, can't wait. I'm just looking for like you know, looking for a little bit of old school.
Yeah, man. That is like classic. Throw you back for sure. You should be whisked away back to the '90s. People are going to be walking around in Jinkos, seeing people with airwalks.
Always the Jinkos.
Always.
That's always the like number one reference we go to is the
I had
Jinkos.
'em.
Always.
You had them.
Oh, yeah.
I had frosted tips too, and like a shell necklace at one point.
Fucking
Got the
douche.
puka beads,
It was
puka
pathetic.
beads, and the fucking Alien Workshop T-shirt, and baby blue. What's up?
That's when the weed. I mean, the weed was killer though, man. We might not have had a great sense of style, but we knew how to get high back then.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. I'll make it happen, Captain.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you have coming up, man? I want to know about some like future projects.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Chi-Chis are coming up next. So what I've been doing is instead of releasing everything all at once, just doing like one thing monthly.
Okay.
Like everybody's like nowadays everybody's broke as shit, you know, like it's hard, you know what I mean? So we're
Times
just
is
gonna
tough. Times is
yeah,
tough.
it really is, man. It really is. So
It is.
so yeah, this upcoming month, September will be month for the Chi-Chis, man.
Okay.
That's Cherry AK-47 clone crossed to the Sangria Punch. And the Sangria Punch is something I made back in the day That's Screaming Eagle and old Lone Star's Killer Queen. So
Man.
a really gnarly G13 combo. Like I said, very sangria punch, like just like the name.
Yeah.
And that going over to cherry. Okay, yeah, it's really good. It's
whiny
really
terps.
no, not really any color with it. You still got the real frosty green weed look to it,
Right.
but the smells on it go different spectrums of the cherry. So everything from like cherry cough syrup, Luden's cough drop, to the other side of the spectrum being more like a spree cherry spree candy type thing going on.
All right.
You know, so all cherry all the way across the board, very high yielding. The high on it's what's really got me going on it. It's got definitely slow you the fuck down, but not sleepy, not couch lock weed. Very heady at the same time. It's really fucking nice, man. Very nice.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, cherry sounds great. That's one of Monster's favorite, I know.
Oh,
I
fucking
love good
dude.
cherry terps.
Oh shit! Well, fucking
And
holler
for
at
it
me
to,
after.
you mentioned it's green. That's important to me.
Yeah, it's green weed, man.
Okay. All right. I love green weed. And listen, I am just a purist. I like purple weed is for some people, it is not for me.
More for me.
You know, looks nice in pictures, but my God, every time I compare two phenos, there's a purple one and a green one, just green one all day, every day.
Amen.
Dude, back in the day, the old joke, it was a freebie given on a seed site called Seed Bay. All right. And Oregon Kid had made them, and there was a clone going around the blackberry, really dark purple, fluffy looking weed. And like people were like really wanting it back then. And he made the BlackBerry S1, and what happened was they ended up putting them in these bags and giving them away as freebies on Seed Band. It was called VBS, Very Berry Surprise, and all the purple plants. Anyway, like these purple plants, like they smell like black pepper. They don't get you high. They don't taste like really anything. You know, they're just like
black pepper terps, man. I hate that shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
that shit was like fucked up like a football bat, dude. Like it was just shit. But like you had these weird ones that
Like
would
a
pop
football
up.
bat.
Dude, the green pheno, man, it was all about that. And if you had that, like that was actually some pretty good ass weed, man. But it was all about the green one. So
It's so it is so funny. Like sometimes it comes down to the phenotypes used, you know.
yeah, sometimes it just kind of plays out like that.
But yeah, shout out to green weed. All weed
Yeah,
should be green.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I do have like some purples that are like really, really, really strong, but I know what you're saying. Like a lot of the new age purples don't really have the get down with it.
Yeah, man,
I think it's early. I think
you
they'll
have
get there.
gone dark, my friend. You have faded to black,
Dude.
there,
Just
like the
full
album.
circle, dude. I mean, like I got this new desk, but like it's a blue light, so I don't know how this is gonna work. Like it might look. You know what? Fuck it.
Somebody was
do it.
suggesting, you know, maybe you could
Actually,
start
that
a
looks pretty
fire.
badass,
Cool.
dude. That looks pretty
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, it looks like I'm at a strip club. Awesome.
Need a little strobe effect, but no, yeah, that's Chi-Chi sounds like it's right up my alley, man.
I got an Aztec sacrificial dagger from my buddy Alex over here too. Just saw that in the blue light. It looked cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Shit.
I don't think it was like used, you know. It was just like made out of
just a
you know,
recreation.
Yeah.
That's definitely cool stuff to see. I was down in Mexico over the holidays. That's Mayan. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very cool stuff, man. So anything else on the horizon? that you want to talk about, man?
Got some cool film work coming.
Oh, yeah?
Some cool sativa dominant weed coming for all the get up and goers. And for now.
That's for now what we can say.
Just for now, yeah.
Dude, you're working on an awful lot. Like, I mean, truly, the soil coming out with Build a Soil. I know that's been obviously taking months to work on with the testing and stuff you have to get done.
Yeah, it's a lot of work at the end of the day. Doing the growing part, that's easy. Everything from then taking the time doing all the proper testing. You got a lot of time down the hatch, and then like QA, QCing, making sure that the seeds are fully formed right, no abnormalities, counting all those, packaging all those, and it's full on thing. And then you get into the get it out into the world and telling people about it. Yeah.
One of the things I love about your strains too is the descriptions that you put with them. Yeah. It's important to me as a consumer. Like, I mean, just it shows me you've at least grown your own gear.
Yeah. Yeah, grown it, smoked it, still smoking it, kept the clone. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what it's like. You can tell me all about it. Terp profiles, morphologies I can expect.
Yeah, man.
I mean, dude, I love blind, that shit.
But that's the thing. You don't want to send them in blind.
Dude, 90% of this stuff I see these days are just, line drops. It's the same male used and crossed with a bunch of hype females. No description provided, just a bunch of F1s. And we're going to assume that because we crossed fire with fire, that the outcome's going to be fire. That's just, that's not how I don't know. I mean, a lot of times you get great stuff that way. Don't get me wrong, but like, there's a lot
of times too you get straight hammered dog shit too. Like, because I've done that and like tested it and been like,
there you
that
go.
Was not what should
you
have
heard it from
the
breeder himself. Sometimes
fire and fire equals shit.
Equals hammered dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like that.
That's so funny, dude. Like, I've asked the question so many times because I hear it. Like, well, if you cross fire with fire, it's like, what does that mean? That means what to me? Like, I mean,
different combination. Well, the gametes
genetics
making different alleles and different gene pairs.
Genetics cross in weird ways, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We can't take anything for granted.
Yeah, it just don't work, Sometimes it just don't work,
Sometimes it just don't work. Like, just think of like, all right, there's had to have been at least one case at some point in time where like two Olympic athletes, gold medal winners in their respective events get together at the Olympic Village. You hear about all the time. They burn through condoms like nobody's business at the Olympics. These two champs get together, they have a kid, and guess what? Now he's in the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just don't work that way.
It just don't work that way. You're right. You're exactly right. Or sometimes like it's two big bodybuilding types, super athletic. The kids are like mad short and fucking real skinny and uncoordinated,
Can't lift a weight to save their lives.
Yeah, man. And, it's like that, like you get into all types of different combinations of heterozygous and homozygous and different, recessives popping up potentially. Like there's a lot of things that can go right or wrong or both.
Well, I mean, just for our purposes, just if you grow your own shit, you know what to expect. At least you can provide a little write up for me. I mean, that means a lot to me.
Little something.
Someone who's going to buy a pack of seeds for, man. But
I mean, it's like the least you can do, right?
Cap needs to be wooed. He needs a little
Dude, I love
serenading.
my write-ups, man. It's like one of the reasons, you like we've talked about the Mephisto strain guide, the night owl, like the care that some breeders put into their product is what separates them from all the others. I love the guys that put the care in. It's evident when you see it.
Because you know what? If there isn't a description under a breeder's thing, I'm going to go to like Grow Diaries and find out what some schmuck who grew it
His name
in
I haven't heard in a
Idaho
while.
thinks about it.
Some schmuck on
like
Grow
I'm going to
Diaries.
find the information somewhere and it's going to sway me. So you might as well put the description in there.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have to work. There's all that typing involved, and then there's the growing it and observing it.
Well, no, the point is to cash in. The point is to cash in on the hype and to strike while the iron's hot. You're not selling this seed based on anything other than just name and marketing. That's what 90% of this shit is, right?
So are you telling me I should be in the Special Olympics?
No, but I think you're the smart one. I do. Man, dude, listen, it might not be the most profitable way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's the right way to do it.
It's the right way.
Yeah, man. That's the only way to really do it. There's a lot of different ways out there to make money, so they print it every day. You know what I mean?
Amen. Like giving away your kung fu in a special soil blend with Build a Soil. That's a nice way to make money.
Not
and
really.
Hopefully you're making something, right?
Yeah. But it's not what people would think. But it's all like that wasn't even the purpose. The whole purpose of it is me, a breeder, and a grower can be literally growing the same weed in the same soil, in the same environment, you in your state, you in your state, you in your state. And we have some bit of consistency here. And that way, if I'm explaining a certain smell or flavor or whatever, that's what you can experience as well. At least it puts a baseline there, And I've been growing a really long time, and there's a reason I grow the way that I do. It's not because I've never grown in hydro. I've grown a lot of hydro. I've done DWC, fucking recycles. I've done drain to waste rock walls and fucking peat and fucking. I've done ebb and flow with hydrocorals. I've done it all. I've grown indoors. I've grown outdoors. About every which way you can think of, and my little system, it always worked for me. It
says something.
It's easy, so I still grow the same way. So, people that have turned on to it, that, grow in soil, they're always blowing people away with the weed. They're really happy with it. It's pretty cut and dry, pretty easy, not super time consuming. Like it's all the way around. It always fit me, and everybody else that did it was like really stoked, and they stuck with it too.
Hey, I have to agree with you, man. It's the super soil is the way to do it if you're a lazy grower.
yeah, it really works out pretty well.
I don't. Do you pH your water even when you're like? You do. I just go straight from the tap. I know the pH coming out.
Yeah.
I do test that at least.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. It's just like I've always been in a habit of keeping more water than what I need to water at the same time. One, if I was in an area where it needed to dechlorinate, I had that going on for me. Two, it always allowed the ambient temperature to match, right around my root zone. That was another one. And
Gotcha.
Three, power outages and shit going on like that, I always want to make sure that I got water around just in case hurricanes or whatever. So there was that as well. But I always had to
think about that shit.
Yeah. It's all well and good till the lights go out and there's no water flowing, and these plants they don't understand. They want some water. So Yeah,
there's no just pause button when you're in
definitely
week 4 of flower.
Yeah, and like the clone tray starts drying up and everything else. Like, you're proper.
You gotta make it happen. I think I heard you say it on another another show at one point that you did, like you got to be a MacGyver
You really do.
in the grow.
You gotta think outside the box and shit, and come up with solutions to your problems. Less complaining and more solutions.
That's right. Adapt and overcome.
Yeah, they used to say like the crying is just the waste of the time between the problem and the solution. That's all it is. So get to thinking, get to figuring.
That's the most like old timey grandpa advice I ever heard in my life. But there ain't nothing wrong about it. I don't hear an ounce of non-truth. But so where can people find you, man?
I'm at the house right now.
Well, I mean, I don't mean in real life. I mean,
I was gonna say like the grocery store once a month.
You see him down at the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, straight
he
up.
He hangs out at the Publix on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
No.
Got them parking lot deals going on. Flash sale midsummer. We'll do it like the motherfuckers trade the food stamp cards. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
$100 shit. Yeah, be like, yeah, go in there and get me that brisket. I'll give you a pack of seeds, man. Fucking
dude, that would be
get a 12-pack of Coke, man. We'll need 2 gallons of milk. Here you go.
Just tape them to the back of the milk carton. Here you go.
Yeah, just randomly surprise people.
Just selling milk here.
From the milkman. Just left your mother's house. Get the fuck out of here.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, son. What? Huh?
Can see it right now, dude. Well, dude, listen, it's been awesome hanging with you.
Yeah, you as well. Y'all as well.
Really, really nice to meet you. Like,
glad to have you on.
I can't tell you how excited I am to grow your gear after hearing.
I think you really dig it, man. Like, I've been smoking it the whole time. I'm fucking definitely lit up like a Christmas tree up in here. You know what I mean? You're seeing blue light, but there's all the colors going right here.
I can't wait, man. Yeah, I do give a nice strain description from now and then when I'm compelled and motivated to do it. But it's usually it's the weed that talks, guys. I mean, I don't do it unless the weed speaks to me. But no, I'm really looking forward to it, man. There's, like I said, we highlight the people that are doing it right because there's a lot of people LARPing out there, unfortunately, and you ain't one of them, my friend. You ain't one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I walk the walk, man. Yeah. I got the cool tattoos to prove it.
Got the prison tats. Dude, you're a true drug war veteran, right?
Yeah.
True drug war veteran. Well, hats off to you, man.
I would. So
doing what you love in the end. And
that's right.
They didn't stop you one bit.
Nah, they sure didn't. In fact, I would actually say they inspired me to go harder when I got out. So
there you go.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Fuck them. Overgrow the nation, as they say, right? Even out there in Prohibition land, just
be the gray person.
Take some caution.
Just blend in.
Just be Hank Hill at a trap house.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You're Hank Hill. You hit the door. You be whoever you want to be. But you walk out of that.
Yeah, that's right. Here, someone said it in the chat and really bring it full circle. Sometimes you just gotta ride the lightning.
You gotta ride the lightning, dude. that man right there, let me tell you, he knows all about that life. Many years, and he's a good gray man too. You would never know.
Anyone that's friends with you is friends with us now, man. Like honestly extend an open invitation to anyone in your community.
Don't tell him that. He's probably going to show up with a bunch of mushrooms, and fucking liquor, and go get wild as shit.
We'll go hang out.
Like my type of guy.
Get some Puerto Rican hookers. We'll party till the sun comes up. Listen,
he probably wouldn't do the hookers because I think I know that he's got old lady. But it's funny you mentioned. Did you say Panamanian or Puerto Rican?
hey, either or, both, hopefully.
My buddy told me this funniest shit ever. It was called a Panamanian ZJ. And
Please tell me,
dude,
elaborate. All right.
oh, okay, it's that type of show. All
What's
right,
a
cool.
ZJ?
Well, so the
It's not.
only
It's
thing I
definitely not
knew.
PG-13. We'll go there.
All right, cool. All right. So, it's fucking great because the only thing I know about ZJ is from Beer Fest. You remember? Because he's like, $1
The movie?
to look
Yeah.
at it, $2 to touch it, whatever. And he goes through and he's like, whatever for the ZJ. And he's like, what's the ZJ? He's like, you got to ask. You can't afford it. So that was my only frame of reference. And then he was telling me, like, he was, I don't know if he was there. I think it was fucking pro surfing or whatever doing his thing. And he was like talking about his boy, like, went and got this fucking ZJ. And I guess it's like, where the chick basically with like a big ass like comes up and puts her butt cheeks around your meat and fucking jacks you off like that or something, and that's a Panamanian ZJ.
Or a Panamanian ZJ.
Yeah,
That's a strain name right there if I ever heard one, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like 20 people all copy each other doing it. It's fun.
It's already one. All
Sometimes
right.
you got to send them out there so we can focus on what's here. You know what I mean? Go forth to the ZJ, man. Go get that.
That's good. That's good life advice for the kids. It is.
Maybe not.
The best advice we can give y'all is just keep growing, but don't get caught. Right? That's what we always say.
It's not illegal till you get caught.
That's what we always say.
But like I said, just make the contract with yourself the day that you decide you're gonna cross that line. Have that contract with yourself, know what's in it, and ride it out.
Ride the lightning. Just do what you got to do. But
that's it,
dude. Again, it's our pleasure to have you here. It's been awesome. And if anyone wants to come in, we got a Discord. We're hanging out there usually, but you can all find us on IG. I'm Captain Autoflower. She's
G3.
I'll go grow.
Girl, go
Yep.
grow. Who's this dude?
That's fucking monster.
The real green monster. But yeah, come on the Cultivation Conversation Discord, and also check out our Patreon. That's how we afford all this cool, fancy stuff behind us in the shots, like my awesome lava lamp.
What do I do?
You have to get a Patreon, dude. The people help us. The people help us. Otherwise, it would just be bare bones.
What's the Patreon worth? What do you think? Like $1 or something? Like you charge them $1?
Yeah,
all the dollars add up.
$1 a month. Yeah, dude. If you're giving away kung fu secrets, people might pay for that.
Damn, that'd be fucking awesome. I've been giving them out this whole time.
I know you're good people. Like you could certainly like monetize this, but I love the fact that you don't even think about it. That's like there's a line you have to draw. I think I don't know. Like we just ask people. Like, listen, you like the show, you want to come support us, go right ahead. But it's free otherwise. Like we're not going to ever put up a paywall.
Yeah, it's like a nice way for them to support you to like make sure that you keep doing what you do.
Yeah, but it's not.
That's
it's
cool.
free. It's free for everyone, and like again, like we just try to focus on education and teaching people
That's
how to
fucking
grow
awesome,
here.
man.
But
that's fucking awesome.
Then we do bring on breeders sometimes when we're inspired. So
yeah, like when it gets real slow, you're like, fuck it, let's find a breeder to get for.
No, it's usually when I like start popping some beans and I find some new breeders I want to talk to. So
oh yeah.
Well, the dogs need to be let out, right? So
no, they're just being dicks like right now. Like, yeah, they think they hear something, but they don't.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap it up anyway, so
we are. G3. Anything moon wise we need to know about?
Yes. Oh, Jesus
planets?
Christ. Yep.
What's
Here we
going
go.
on?
Planet?
Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow.
What does this mean for us in our
So
garden?
Mercury retrograde happens 3 times a year for 3 weeks each time. So this one starts on the first day of Virgo season 2. So happy birthday to all my Virgo babies. It runs until the 15th of September. So during this time, you just got to be careful. Watch your glass, watch your words, watch people come back from your past. Just like be a little extra cautious. Energy gets weird, shit gets crazy, stuff gets wonky. Just slow and
So I
steady.
probably
right?
shouldn't have mentioned the ZJ then.
People gonna come back from your past asking about the ZJs, huh?
Maybe.
Knocking down the doors.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, listen. It's live, so we can't cut it. There's nothing I can do. No, I can. If you, truly, I have edited parts. If you really need me to take something out, I can get the audio.
No.
No, he doesn't seem like the strike from the record type.
Sorry.
Yeah. Like I've said some really obscene
Redact
shit
the
before,
names.
So. No, we're good, man. We're good.
All right, cool.
As always.
That's what's up, man. Well, anytime you have anything that you want to talk about, you are also welcome to come back anytime, brother. Really, it's been an honor to speak with you.
Just holler, man. I'll be around.
Awesome.
Will do, man. And everyone else out there in podcast land, don't get caught.